Everything's different now, guys. I mailed that painting off yesterday, so my whole background changed. This one is also, it's a commission, so it's already sold. So it is not long for this world either. I'm actually completely sold out of my paintings, which is incredible. Thank you guys. But that means I need to get to work. So, hi guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're gonna do what the title of the video says. We're going to be anti-hauling everything on Trendmood. And honestly, if I still have the energy after that, maybe we'll anti-haul some more things. I have to accept the fact that I fluctuate, I vacillate on my feelings about having this massive of a collection. Like, I wish you could see what's off camera, but truly I am embarrassed to show you. Not just the amount of it, but like the condition of it. It's literally everywhere. It's just this gigantic pile, just piles. And for some reason, you guys probably, there are people out there who understand this. Like, I know exactly where things are relative to their piles. I'm like, oh yeah, they're in that weird pile there. And like, I have this kind of illness where I can't use something unless I can see it. Like, otherwise it's just, I have absolutely no object permanence. That said, my collection has exceeded its ability to live inside of my mind palace. Also, I'm talking weird because I think I'm getting laryngitis. But I just have so much to say. I need to film, I need to get these things out of my brain and onto the internet, but I'm like having really, really weird, icky feelings about having this much makeup, even from the standpoint of a reviews channel and it being like an encyclopedic collection. Like, at some point, the encyclopedia even is full, and I don't know how long I'm going to feel that way, but for right now, the healthiest thing for me to do is to go full Hannah Louise Poston and just talk myself out of things. And it's coming from a different standpoint. It's really hard because me personally, most of these things I would not buy. I would not buy them for my own collection. It's hard for me to justify not buying something when I know that the curiosity exists in the community. And I have one major sticking point in my brain that's going to be probably the hardest one to talk myself out of today. We will get there, but this is kind of just me challenging myself in real time and trying to maybe just be a little bit more of like a regular human being instead of a reviewer, and address the reality that like I have too much makeup, full stop. So let's do that. I am testing out the new foundation from RMS right now. Fantastic shade match in 00 if that is information that's helpful to you, but it is not what I expected at all. I think I over prepped my skin and the whole complexion is just sludgy right now. So if my makeup just starts climbing off of my face at some point, please do not judge me. And actually don't judge the RMS foundation either, because I still have a lot of ground to cover in terms of getting my head around it. It's a very interesting formula. It's not just your off-the-shelf skin tint. It's very, very different. So I will have a review for you guys on that as soon as I feel equipped to do so, but I just wanted to let you guys know that like if I'm experiencing some cake face on camera today, it's my fault, and that's why. All right, my buddies, let's open up some Trendmood. So Trendmood 1 is kind of the, you know, common space for people to look for new releases that are very mainstream beauty oriented. I mean, it's Kylie, it's Morphe, it's ColourPop. Like, I almost glaze past those a lot of times, and these things don't tend to come up in my feed that often because I actually don't refer to Trendmood unless someone tags me in it. The algorithm does not necessarily have me indexed as like incredibly interested in Trendmood, so some of this stuff is going to be a little bit of a surprise for me. The first thing on Trendmood, as I am seeing it right now, is available now, link in bio, Sephora new collection from Gucci. Okay. I own the Gucci eyeshadow palette that came out before this, and I think that it's really, really cool that they have this replaceable pan. I'm not sure if you can yet buy just the pan, but it also has a different tin, so it's like you could swap them out, or if you can just buy individually that pan, it might be less expensive and you could put it in a pre-existing tin like I have. I'll just grab it, hang on. This is the, I guess, original one, number 1, floral, in the Palette Beauté de Hier. And this is what it looks like. Honestly, it looks incredibly similar to the new one. Like, remarkably similar, okay? Like, very similar color story and just different textures. To be honest, It's easy to be enamored with the presentation here. It's really heavy, it's really luxurious, it's very Gucci, but like, these are not really much to write home about in terms of formulas, especially for the money. This is like $125 or something crazy like that. The formulas aren't bad. They're nice, but I just don't get a lot of use out of this because it's kind of like a scattered thought. I just don't really get the vision here. I never think about this palette because the color story doesn't seem conceptual. It seems kind of a lot of things for a lot of people and not really the best thing for anyone. And any of the shades that I find really useful in here, I have other places where they coexist with something more exciting to me. So while, you know, I commend them on the packaging and I actually think that the new 10 is even prettier, that's not enough for me to buy it. So that was easy. Not gonna buy the new Gucci palette. And as for the lipsticks, I like a Gucci lipstick, I do, but I'm just not that big of a fan of that smell right next to my nose. And I don't mind the Gucci scent, I don't, but I just don't want it right next to my nose. All right, next, Makeup Forever is coming out with HD Skin Twist and Lighting Powder. Okay, I didn't read that incorrectly. Okay, so this is a combo. It's like a baby between the new one from Uma in terms of that delivery system, that little twist component that dispenses the product. I'm not sure if it's a gimmick or if there's actually some hygienic advantage to it, but it's neat. I have to admit it's neat. And the other parent being this right here, right? Which is that Givenchy Prism Libre powder that I just bought, which is messy. I just find myself not really reaching for it because it's so much easier to open a compact. Y'all, I'm panning this. I'm so excited. This is the Kosas Cloud Set and Airy. And again, mind palace and also just like moment to moment practicality. Am I reaching for something that has this gimmick of mixing a bunch of colors together in order to find a neutral shade for my skin? Why? Why? You know, I do that with my makeup, like with my actual complexion makeup. My powder doesn't really need to do that. For me personally, I appreciate that Makeup Forever put out this many shades in it the same way that Givenchy did, but at the same time, I literally didn't even need one, and I certainly don't need two. So, not gonna buy it. That was easy! Oh, and I'm in my like bougie coastal grandmother shirt, so I can say, how easy was that? Oh my gosh, when they do these giant image macros where like everything is smashed together because it's like this, just a whole bunch of releases all at once, like my brain just like fries and like wants to keep scrolling. Uh-oh, that's hard. That's really hard for me. Oh no. Oh no, I did not know that. Y'all, Tula Radiant Skin Brightening Serum Skin Tint Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 30? Will they send it to me? Because I would review that if they would do that. I'm going to resist that unless I get some kind of overwhelming interest in my comments. The Tower 28 Sunny Days has a very similar delivery system, so I'm kind of like, oh, okay, maybe they'll be similar. But yeah, Tula typically has probiotic benefits to their formulas. I might have to just go swatch this in store, but like, maybe I'll just wait and see if it's something. Wait a second. I just crossed over between me buying makeup and reviewer buying makeup. If I'm waiting for other people's reviews to know whether I want it, that is me being curious about a product, which I'm not. Because I don't need another skin tint. I don't. So from a reviewer standpoint, it really only would exist if you guys really, really care. So if you really, really care, let me know. But I think that we can just pass on that one. That was not that easy. It's pretty exciting. And if they send it to me, then I will definitely review it. But it's probably just a skin tint. She said it. It's probably just a skin tint, guys. This is the one that I was referring to in the beginning when I said there's going to be one that's a huge stumbling block. And honestly, I think I'm realizing that the hardest thing for me to resist, the thing that I feel most compelled to be an authority on, is actually complexion products because they matter so much. That's the main thing, like in my routine, that's the main thing that I'm having an issue with today with this Hermes foundation, is that it was so much coverage that I felt like I needed to put on a full beat to look natural, which is not the headspace I want to be in. Like when I'm putting on like a clean beauty brand, I do want it to be a dab here, a dab there, and this was like an absolute shellacking, way more than I expected it to be. I think that my curiosity, like I have natural curiosity about those kinds of products, about foundations and concealers, because they have such a really strong impact on like how you wear your makeup every single day. If you pick a foundation that's going to be your everyday foundation, then you're kind of picking the amount of coverage and the amount of makeup you're gonna wear every day. Does that make sense? I know that that sounds like a circular reference warning, but like it always makes me have to think differently about how much makeup I'm going to put on, because like the coverage level might be more or less than I was expecting. So that might be my Achilles heel. Wow, I'm really not getting around to the point, am I? The product that I am finding to be the biggest stumbling block in terms of anti-hauling is this new forthcoming foundation from Lady Gaga from House Labs. So it is the new Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. It's $45 and they have 50 shades. It does look really beautiful, but like I don't know what the finish is going to be. Crossing my fingers that Clean Beauty is expanding to the point where she's going to put out a full coverage matte foundation, because she's Lady Gaga and she is a drag queen at the end of the day. I'm hoping that the finish on this just doesn't appeal to me at all, because I don't want to buy it. I'll be honest, like I really don't want to. But I think that that's my job, is to report back on things like that. So I don't know, maybe that's something I'm finding. It's like if I'm distilling down my curiosity, like the cross section of my curiosity, and I feel like my responsibility to you guys, it really comes down to complexion products, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right, that's valuable information that we just unearthed together. Next, we have this, I'm sorry guys, one of the biggest threads that I saw going through my comment section on my last video where I was talking about like the beauty community dying was literally like the same sentence that said, we don't need any more palettes. Why do they keep putting out palettes? We don't need more. We don't need more palettes. We don't. And that doesn't mean that we need single eyeshadows either. We might not need eyeshadow. Maybe I'm not that excited about eyeshadow. All that to say, this P. Louise brand has come out with this thing. It says the Money Shot eyeshadow palette. $59, double drawer, 42 eyeshadow pan palette of rich green tones with reflective shimmers and deep matte finishes. I understand that there is an audience for this that just doesn't happen to be the audience for my channel. And that is why the majority of what I see in my comment section is people being like, why? Why do we need this like grotesque amount of product in a release? I understand that they wouldn't be making these products if there wasn't a demand for them. But for me, I'm like, this is a release that looks like it came out in 2012, 2014 maybe, where it was like we all wanted the Jeffree Star vibe without having to pay the Jeffree Star price or give our money to Jeffree Star for that matter. Like that's exactly what it looks like. It's got the little stencils pressed into some of the pans, and it's just this absolutely thorough spectrum of green all the way from like lime to turquoise. So I understand that you guys are definitely not curious about this, because I think that I have a pretty good like pulse on what we're all kind of commonly interested in, but this is exhausting. Like it's nauseating to see this much product in one release, isn't it? I don't know. As I was sitting here trying to figure out what I was looking at, I just saw Raw Beauty Christie's comment. So this is just when we thought we had seen it all, a new collab between Applebee's and Winky Lux. It's called Saucy Gloss, and it is literally their different hot sauces for their wings as lip glosses. And Raw Beauty Christie, she says, I've said it before and I'll say it again, not everything needs a makeup collab. But there are going to be people who buy it because it's funny. the same reason people bought like a baloney mask because it's funny, or like Cheetos bronzer because it's funny. That's not us, but like I just thought that that comment was really funny. And also, we just continue finding sharks to jump, do we not? I'm impressed with us, honestly. Speaking of things that feel like they fell out of 2012, the new Strawberry Feels collection from Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. Jaclyn Hill does not deserve any more abuse. I am not going to sit here and just pile on to Jaclyn Hill. Jaclyn Hill defined the genre of being the basic biatch, okay? So this does not feel out of left field for her at all. We're talking about pinks and purples and things that look like they would be released right around Valentine's Day, but we're getting them pre-fall. You know, do with that what you will. While I want to say like none of this surprises me, it does feel a little bit just like transporting us back to a time when this maybe didn't exist yet and everybody be really, really clamoring for it. M Cosmetics, the Everglass Lip Dew. Don't you know that this is lovely? I guarantee you this is lovely, but she already has the True Gloss. I think this might be Lip Dew. It's just like the colored version of her Morning Dew, which only came in clear, which means that it's a liquid lip balm formula, which means that it's probably extremely wonderful, but like I have enough liquid lip balms and I know that I like them. And this is gonna be, it's $22. M Cosmetics, that is one thing that I saw. I mean, it's one of the things that I noticed out of the gate, but also I saw on Naomi John's review of her brand, she's like, all this stuff is incredibly beautiful. It is a lot of product for the money, but it's kind of a large initial investment per product. Like each product is a little bit too expensive, and I do feel that way still about a $22 lip gloss that's like a teeny tiny thing like that. That's not to say that I mean, it looks like the Westman Atelier ones, which I paid even more than that for, but at the same time, like, let's just be honest, no one is banging down my door right now to hear about Michelle Phan and her makeup line, or Michelle Phan in general. Yeah, they're doing the rainbow, everybody's doing the rainbow palettes again. All matte rainbow palette from ColourPop. And I know that like, I say the word ColourPop and people literally just flatline. Like their eyes roll back in their heads permanently at this point. Like ColourPop's not a bad formula. I just feel like they are constantly eroding their brand equity by pretending that their releases are exciting and that they even care about them. There are so many of them. They're basically saying like makeup is very inexpensive to produce, therefore let's like pollute the market, let's pollute the earth, let's pollute your collection with just more makeup than anyone needs. And it's never been more exemplified than an all mattes rainbow palette, okay? That's hashtag we ran out of ideas a long time ago. Kinship Self Smooth 10% Glycolic Resurfacing Serum. If there's anything that I am learning, it is that when it comes to active ingredients in my skincare, more is not always better. I went through a period of time where I was getting a lot of chemical peels, and that led me to believe that I needed clinical strength for clinical results all the time. And I don't know whether I have just like my skin has changed, or whether my preference has changed, or whether skincare has just gotten really, really strong. But I just like can't take it anymore. Like my skin can't take it anymore. When I was using, I got the Exponent Beauty, the new retinol, and it's crazy potent. But my skin started to look like see-through and gray because it was like accelerating my cell turnover to the point that like I couldn't even maintain my moisture barrier. That's not a knock on their product necessarily, I just don't need that level of active ingredient. And 10% glycolic, I have no idea what that really means. I have put straight glycolic on my skin before and not known how to neutralize it because I was snooping in the esthetician's office at my salon when I was like 20 or something, and I burned myself severely. And she's like, that's what you get? And I was like, that's what I get? But I guess my point is, I am settling into routines that involve gentler products with gentler actives. I've been loving the Osea actives, like the resurfacing type things. And then also, I'm really, y'all, I cannot stop using Herbivore Moonfruit. That is the best retinoid I've used in a really long time. It doesn't make my skin peel, okay? Like I'll go for my chemical peels when it cools off and I'm not in the sun as much, but it truly clears my skin with no irritation. And when I was having a lot of irritation from other skincare and my skin was just feeling really, really like dry and sad and thirsty and just like kind of looking older than it is, Moonfruit brought it back to balance, to equilibrium, and like all of the acne and everything cleared up within 3 days of being back on it. 3 days. No one's paying me to say that. I get it in PR, but like, that is a really, 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 really effective, gentle retinoid. All of that to say, I don't need to try any new skincare, especially a strong glycolic serum. Although, let's see, Kinship says, transforming the skin without the irritation associated with acids? Yes, please. So maybe it is gentle. Glycolic is not particularly gentle in my experience. POV ColourPop knocking down prices for National Lipstick Day. Can we talk about how everybody's using the word POV wrong? Or the term POV wrong? Yeah. Saucy, you're using the term POV wrong. All right, let's anti-haul some Chantecaille, shall we? Here is the new collection. Chantecaille includes the Black Jaguar Eye Quartet for $75, the Black Jaguar Collection Lip Chic for $48, the Cougar Eye Quartet for $75, and the Cougar Collection Lip Chic for $48. So the reason that I can anti-haul this is because I'm sure that it's great, and also, again, you just don't pique my curiosity that much with eyeshadow. I know Chantecaille's eyeshadow formulas are nice. I do not need to buy a quad in order to know that or to reinforce that with myself or with you. And again, I'm far more curious about a complexion product, a foundation, a concealer, a powder, a primer, a whatever, than I am an eyeshadow quad. And I don't think that it's for me to review. I think it's for a makeup user to enjoy. For someone to have that like really wants these beautiful colors in their collection. I don't need that, personally or professionally, and that is not a knock on anyone who's excited about them, because they are gorgeous, gorgeous formulas. Glossier is coming to Sephora. Oh, Since absolutely no one asked. Glossier coming to Sephora, I don't know why it surprised me. And as soon as I actually like thought about it for 2 seconds, it doesn't surprise me at all. I saw this phenomenal comment yesterday from a viewer. I commented back, I said, I absolutely love your optimism. And she said, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but that she's excited about the next kind of wave in beauty content and beauty YouTube and such, because our voices are not just being heard in the sense of like brands are listening to us. It's that like when we lose interest as like a buying collective, right? When we lose interest in a brand, like we can shut them down. We can anti-vote with our dollars. And I honestly didn't think that that was possible. All these companies seem too big to fail, but we're watching them drop like flies. And I think that that is very, very evident in seeing Glossier go to Sephora. They changed ownership because, not ownership, but changed management because Emily Weiss stepped down as CEO. She had a baby, but also the company is just in a weird spot right now. And them going to Sephora, I feel like, is them kind of trying to buoy themselves. Latch their buggy onto a horse that is proven to have some staying power, you know? That was a weak metaphor, but do you know what I mean? Like it's definitely cutting into their margins, but it's a much safer, more stable place to be for them. And I will be interested to see what that does to their affiliate program, to their future product releases, to the way that they think about their products and their shade ranges, because Glossier going into Sephora with 12 shades of concealer, that's weak sauce. So hopefully they step up their game. Oh boy. Il Maquillage by Kathleen Lights. Okay. Oh no. Wow, it really takes zero time to monetize something that was just a meme on the internet. Like, it has been, what, 2, maybe 3 weeks of the Little Miss and Mr. Men meme thing, you know, that every brand has been hijacking, but also I find to be, you know, on the whole, relatively unoffensive compared to a lot of things I see on the internet. Doesn't really bother me. I love a good personality generalization, don't I? I'm a big astrology person, but this is the Rimmel by Mr. Min Little Miss collection, and it's all nail polishes. They just jumped on that, didn't they? They came to the boardroom and they said, Gen Z likes something. No, I'm pretty sure that that's the millennials who like it, okay? Because most people don't even know what a Mr. Men is. Whatever, I guess you don't really have to understand the like history of it, which there isn't really a history, it's just been around a long time. Either way, this is such a cash grab. How annoying. Rose Inc has put out more blushes, which I'm sure are lovely. I own 2 of her blushes and they are fine. They're this kind of really, really thick, velveteen kind of texture that just doesn't thrill me. So that's a no for me. Oh, I have this already. This is the Sweet Dreams fragrance from House of Sillage. They sent this to me. You guys, it is hands down the cute. I'm just gonna go grab it. It is so cute. Look at this thing. Now the one thing that's weird to me is that it says Sweet Dream on here and it's called Sweet Dreams. Not really sure where we lost the S to, but it just says Sweet Dream. Wow. It is sweet and fruity and a little bit bassy, but like it's meant to be very much like a candy smell. It's nice. It is, but like I would want to like spray it over there and then like walk through it. But it's the first perfume I have ever had that my husband's like, oh, that's nice. So now I'm starting to understand what his taste is, at least, because usually I ask him if he likes my perfume. I'm like, what do you think about this? And he goes, strong. I'm like, well, that's because I just put it on. And he's like, oh. Lots of feedback. But yeah, he really likes this one, which I think is interesting. So, but mainly I'm just really, really, really into this like gummy bear cupcake swirl thing with the Swarovski crystals. It's just the cutest thing I've ever seen. Bruce? Hello? Hello? Okay, the new Lightwork palette from Danessa Myricks. There are 2 things here. One, this is the little one, I think. It says multi-chrome palette is back, limited edition. Okay, so they did a regular one and they also did a mini, but it's $85, which sure, I mean, that's how much like you would pay for these if they were, you know, Pat McGrath shadows or something. But at the same time, I'm just not in the market for them. And it's going to take 8 years for it to get here because it's shipping from like Sweden and I chose slow mail. But I did finally order from LH Cosmetics. I was influenced by Naomi John. I love her, okay? I want to be her friend. She loved everything from her, and like I could see the performance on screen that like it looked really, really nice, and I have been wanting to order from Linda Hallberg for a long time, and I finally just did it. And the one that I got was her new just all shimmers little, I want to say it's just a quad, and a few other things. And so, you know, between that and all the other like shimmery, wild, awesome things that I have, I don't need that, but I'm sure that it's lovely because Danessa Myricks is very, very good at textures and color. I think, okay, so the Tower 28, the mauve color of the Milky Gloss and the blush, I think it's called Office Hours. Yes, of course I want that, but I mean, they've always sent me PR. So I'm kind of waiting for it to come in PR because I don't want 2. That's not a bratty thing. It's just like if you come to expect to get PR from them, then you don't go out and buy it because then you end up with 2 of something and it sucks. You don't want that. I'm trying to just wait that one out, but I do want it. Ah, okay, somebody else asked about this. This is revealed new. Chapter 4, Ariana Grande Rem Beauty is putting out Sweetener Concealer, $24, camouflaging spots, illuminating under eyes, and smoothing out skin tones, hydrating multitasking concealer for contour, highlight, lifting and perfecting, Hydra Smooth Essence, signature blend of hyaluronic acid, nourishing vitamin E, and Ayurvedic herb ashwagandha, which act as natural protectants. I'm sorry to giggle. I just think that it's funny that we're putting Ayurvedic herbs in friggin' everything. It's lightweight, medium coverage, buildable, 60 shades. Is this interesting to me? Sure. Am I going to be the most influential person / the best resource to review this? No. It's just not something that I'm excited about. So it's like, you know, if I wait to see what everybody else thinks of this, That's fine, you know? That's not tragic to me. The way that this looks, it looks like a gel concealer, which is, I mean, not a bad thing. It's just an interesting delivery system to put it in a pot. It looks like if you poured it, it would just come out. So you'd want to put it in a tube. A pot is going to be obviously more eco-friendly, you know, just fewer components to have to dispose of, but also, I just think that that's kind of weird. It looks like the freaking, the Chantecaille tub, you know? Again, I have no problem with it. It's just not something that brands do very often. Halsey has put out like a drugstore line, which I think is really interesting because her line, they just marked all the prices down. So the fact that like there's going to be a line that's even more affordable is very interesting to me. I think that About Face is a lovely brand. I love everything that they stand for, and their products are really, really fun and easy to use. It's not always the look that I'm going for, but like if I am going for a wild look, I do reach for those because they're very good. And they did email me and they were like, hey, we can't tell you much about what's happening, blah, 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 but like, do you want our next release? And I was like, yeah, of course. You know, I've had nothing but a positive experience with them, and I saw, where are they? Where are they actually? Oh, it's at Walmart. It's exclusive at Walmart. So I wonder if that's what they're gonna be sending me or what, but if they send it to me, I'll definitely review it. You guys know, I don't get a lot of opportunities to be a relatable queen, so if I get that chance, I'll do it. Laura Mercier has put out an Ultra Blur talc-free translucent setting powder. While I don't need this and I'm not gonna buy it, to quote Miss Abby Williamson, I do appreciate that Laura Mercier seems to be tiptoeing ever closer to re-examining their formulas and taking out some of the outdated ingredients. They've taken out the octinoxate from this new tinted moisturizer, which I love so much, and now they're taking out talc from their loose setting powder. We just love to see it. We just love to see it. You know, it's like when a brand starts coming out with like replaceable packaging and stuff like that, you know, we just like to see that. The Milk Cosmetics Cream Blush Lights, as much as I love this formula, I love it so much. The new shades that they came out with have nothing to do with a cool tone. Nothing to do with a cool tone. They haven't even heard of a cool tone. That was my main, in fact, only complaint about that entire release, which I bought the entire PR mailer of. I have all of the previous shades from the initial release. So these new shades, Watermelon Pink and Soft Natural Pink, while they look lovely and summery, when are we going to get something with a tad, just a tad of lavender in it? Just a little bit. I would settle for like a soft rose instead of like this bright pink, you know? But just not today. Not today, apparently. Okay, well, I ran out of steam, but I spent exactly 0 mental hypothetical dollars today in today's video. So that was the goal. Let me know you guys' thoughts. There are so many times where I do anti-haul something and then I end up picking it up because there's so much curiosity in my comments about it. Like my last tepid takes, I did really hem and haw about the Westman Atelier powder, and I did end up buying it. I am going to be reviewing it soon, but that is pretty much the thing. Like I am drawing a hard line between like what I would want for myself and what I want to like review for you guys. And I truly believe that if it were just me buying makeup, I would have bought the Westman Atelier powder just for myself. Like I think that that's kind of the luxury item that I would want to interact with every day. I think I'm actually going to get a lot of use out of it. If you guys are interested in any of the things that I did anti-haul today, make your case for them in the comments. I always read your comments, so you know, I always like want this to do the best service to you guys, but I think I'm going to just look before I leap a little bit more and stop trying to always be like first one finger on the buzzer for every single product release, because it's filling this room with things that I will like touch once and never touch again. So yeah, I'm gonna let it be a little bit more of a conversation and just like wish list and wait, as Hannah says, just a touch more for my future purchases. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out. I hope you'll also subscribe if you are not already. It's the button down below that says subscribe. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.